Welcome back, warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. Hello, hello, Iron Ear June Stanley. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support. We've got some Vince Everett Ellison tonight. He is talking about the unlikely evolution of the Democratic Party. And you've heard him before on this channel, and maybe you've gone to his channel on your own. He is a powerhouse speaker. A lot of people think that he is a preacher. When he is actually not a preacher, he is a political commentator, speaker, and author. And this is Vince Everett Ellison. And he has an amazing documentary called Will You Go to Hell for Me, which I suggest that you definitely check out. Also, I just want to remind you guys that I have a video coming out. It is premiering tomorrow, Monday, December 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern. It is with Pastor Cliff McAnthony. I've done videos with him before. This is our first discussion after the election. So I want you guys to really go and support me there by looking at that video. It's going to premiere tomorrow, Monday, December 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like it, share it, comment, all the things. And don't forget tonight to smash that like button. Let's go ahead and get started with prayer, guys. We got a lot to cover tonight. Thank you guys for joining. Father God, in Jesus' name, we thank you so much for your grace, your mercy, and your protection. And we ask that you continue to bless this nation, that there is a supernatural outpouring of your Holy Spirit, that there will be a baptism of the Holy Spirit in this country, Israel, and beyond, Father. In your glory, in your name, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you guys so much. Let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, we got a lot to cover. Now, I'm not going to just be covering this video with Vince Everett Ellison. I put the full link in the description, but also I have some other clips that proves that the Democrats or Diddycrats. And I think you know where I'm going with this. Democrats or Diddycrats. And Vince Everett Ellison lays it down. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
You know, political parties come and go. They change and they morph. In 1957, Dred Scott necessitated, well, Dred Scott and the whole slave thing, the Kansas-Nebraska Act, Missouri Compromise, all of it all together, necessitated that another party form to combat slavery. The Republican Party didn't exist at that time. Didn't exist at all. So in 1852, anti-slavery Whigs, anti-slavery Democrats, and all the anti-slavery people in Congress came together and formed the Democrat Party and formed the Republican Party. 1852.
So that's very important to note, because I just want to make sure that you guys on this channel are very well aware, and I'm sure you are. I know you guys are very informed, but the early 1800s, the Democratic Party was formed first, then the Republican Party came about as a response to the Democratic Party. So everybody that was against slavery formed the Republican Party.
As an anti-slavery party. So all the other parties, the Whigs and the rest of them, dissolved into nothing because they changed. Their existence was no longer needed. Poof, they were gone. That's what we should be doing today with the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party, the old Democratic Party, was a bunch of ignorant, racist Klan members running around scaring cowardly black men, burning the cross, raising hell, hanging people. Just a bunch of ignorant rubes, man. They just, did what they did. Is that what this party is now? A bunch of night riding, hanging black people from trees, Klansmen? No. That's something completely different. They have transferred, and I think they did it completely in this last election, from that party to a whole completely different entity. From the Democrat to the Diddycrat. Now, why you say the Diddycrat, Vince? All right. Stay with me here. Y'all know P. Diddy, right?
P. Diddy.
Well, P. Diddy is like one of the top Democrats all the time. He was giving money, having parties, raising money, hanging out with Obama, hanging out with Kamala, hanging out with Biden. I mean, Diddy was like smiling with everybody. And you looked at this last campaign right before Diddy took that hit, and the Democratic Party started resembling one of them Diddy freak-offs.
All right, so you heard what he just said. He said the Democratic Party started resembling some of those Diddy freak-offs, right? You heard about the P. Diddy freak-off parties. You know, Diddy's incarcerated right now, and he's facing a lot of charges and all of that. And you're saying, what are you talking about? You know, Vince, what are you talking about, Linda B? What are you talking about? Well, there's proof that there is a lot. You know, he just said that P. Diddy was hanging out with Obama. Yeah, he was. He was hanging around with a lot of Democrats. Yes, he was. Let's see what this, well, I'm going to turn to this first one here. It's got Obama with you know who. Who is this? This is Obama with P. Diddy. All right.
Thank y'all. Thank you. And I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Daddy for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
We applaud you, and I want to apologize for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool, and I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool. We
T-shirt. I tell you, if he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes he's designing, he'd be sweating just like me.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, what in the world was he even talking about? He's so cool. He's so cool. I mean, what is he even saying? This is the crazy part. That's just the crazy part. But yeah, P. Diddy, the Democrats, you know, they have a lot going on, a lot in common. And I'm going to show you guys something else as well. Another clip that you're going to be like, oh, I see where you're going with this. I see where you're going with this. There's a lot between, as you already know, the Hollywood industry, the music industry, and the Democrats. So Vince Everett is making a point that the Democrats started looking like Diddy freak-offs. Yeah. And this is exactly what he means. Now, right now, this is Tony Hinchcliffe. He slams celebrity endorsements of Kamala Harris. He says the Democrat Party looks more like a Diddy party. What?
The other side's got a lot of crazy endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day, the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. Okay, that's what you guys want.
Told you they looking more and more like a P. Diddy party, because some of the same people that were probably at those parties, like J-Lo, she was up there acting all emotional. You know, she hung out with P. Diddy. She used to be his girlfriend, and she's stomping the ground. Well, not stomping the ground, but she appeared at a Kamala Harris rally, and that's J-Lo. Yeah, so they were looking like a P. Diddy party. The Diddycrats is what they were looking like, the straight up Diddycrats. But we're going to continue with Mr. Ellison.
That he had at one of his mansions, because Diddy got arrested because they found out that Diddy was having parties where he was spiking people's drinks and use drugs and all kind of nasty, dirty behavior. Just Sodom and Gomorrah stuff.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Well, the Democrats weren't alarmed at it. They said, why everybody tripping? That's fine with us. So you look at the Democratic Party with this last race that they won. And how did Kamala Harris kick it off? Well, again, you remember Megan Thee Stallion up there twerking. So the new Diddycrat Party, instead of having a donkey as a mascot, if they want to kind of hybrid the two parties and bring them together, they should have a donkey twerking on a stripper pole. That should be they need to do on something right there.
Okay, he is recommending that they get a new mascot for the Democratic Party, get a donkey twerking on a stripper pole. That's crazy, Vince Everett. That is crazy. Hey, everybody, don't forget to smash that like button. Need you guys to smash the like button. Thank y'all so much.
The donkey's twerking on a stripper pole. Because the first thing I remember seeing about Kamala Harris was Megan Thee Stallion twerking. Then I saw Joe Biden with Glorilla. Glorilla. Glorilla had a song. She came out of Memphis, had a song said she F N-words for free. Then I saw it with Cardi B. Cardi B had a song out with Megan Thee Stallion called WAP. I know y'all know what that stands for. Wet. Gosh.
Can't see it.
I can't even say it.
No. Woo.
Y'all have to just look it up for yourself.
Disgusting.
But these are the people that are in the, you know, yeah, Lizzo. Lizzo used to walk around with pants with a butt out. Come on now.
Come on now, because that's the thing with the Democrats. They appeal to, they're trying to pander to Black people, but the lowest level, you know, just going really low with it, like people with their, like Lizzo with her butt out. You know what I mean? Like Megan Thee Stallion twerking. They're not trying to appeal to the intellect. That is actually very condescending. It is like you're talking down to the voter base. Like, I know y'all get down like this. We're talking politics. We're not talking about somebody talking about their private parts, okay, and what they could do with those parts and got their butt out. That is disgusting. And if anybody with good common sense will realize that that right there was talking down to us. I mean, I don't even know the lyrics to these people. I don't even know 80 to 90% of the rappers out there, because I just don't listen to that kind of music. Neither do I keep up with it. But that is very much talking down and saying, you guys are not smart enough. I can just twerk and get your vote. Ridiculous.
So these people hang out with Eminem. Got out music about killing people. So the Democratic Party, the party that was about keeping Black people in the cotton field, keeping white people poor and ignorant, making the South a gladiator school between poor whites and poor Blacks so that rich white Democrats could stay in power, has transformed from a group of ignorant, racist rubes to now a party of perverts, liars, psychopaths, and anti-Christian bigots. And that's the Diddy hip-hop part of the Democratic Party. They've taken it over. Now, what are some of the things that matches the Diddy hip-hop Democrat Party? What makes this Democratic Party, or the ideal of the Diddy lifestyle and the ignorant rapper lifestyle, and this Democratic Party, what brings them together?
What brings them together, you guys? And I got another clip that I want to show you, because I want to pull together a narrative for you so that this is, and I know this is really clear to you guys, because you've seen the how they relate to one another. You really already seen this. is very clear. I've got a clip with, let's see, I think it's Jesse Waters right here. Now, this is a couple minutes long, and this was Diddy was the Democrats' greatest community organizer. Stephen A. Smith says more indictments to come. So I want you guys to check this out.
He owned a record label, cable channel, clothing line, and was the Democrats' top community organizer. Diddy wasn't working alone. And now that he's behind bars, Hollywood's breaking out in a cold sweat.
I got news for you. They ain't coming just for him. They coming for a whole bunch of people. Hollywood's in trouble. I'm not talking about actors and actresses. I'm talking about the music industry. Anytime the feds are coming your way, they're not coming just for you. Think about the people he's done business with. Think about the money involved. You don't do all of this to go after somebody and their coworkers. You do this because there's a bigger fish to fry.
That's right.
And you suspect that he's the one that's going to nail it for you.
We're finding out a third major music executive resigned this week. We're not saying it's connected, but the timing's strange. And now a Homeland Security agent who raided Diddy's Miami mansion says this. In my opinion, he's as bad as Jeffrey Epstein. These women are young, either barely legal or barely illegal. In Diddy's freak-off dungeon, you were being watched and taped. Now the government has the tapes, and they know everybody involved in the freak-offs. Are they going to lock up the other high-profile sexual abusers or let them get away with it like Epstein's associates? Brad Cohen's an attorney who has represented rappers Kodak Black and Lil Wayne. Brad, you're seeing some executives resign, coincidentally. Do you think this has anything to do with these new charges against Diddy?
I think when you see something like this happen and an individual who gets arrested that's at the level of Diddy, I think you'll see a lot of people kind of running scared and abandoning not only him, but maybe also abandoning a post if they were close to him because it's bad optics for wherever they work. So I don't know if it's directly connected to just whatever actions they may or may not have taken. It could be also just because of their relationship that it's not a good look for the record label that that individual was so close to Sean Combs.
Not a good look. That's an understatement. What about these parties, Brad? Was this an open secret in the industry? And were people aware that they were being taped?
So I don't, just reading the indictment, I don't believe anybody was aware that it was being taped. It was kind of a known thing in the industry, I would imagine, that he has parties, that he had these elaborate parties. I don't know about the other part to it, but certainly he was known for white parties. He was known for big parties at his Star Island house. He was known for big parties in LA. So that wasn't a secret. The secret might have been the other part to those parties, but it could have been one of those secrets that no one ever talked about, that it was kind of like an underlying thing. I mean, this man hung out with billionaires, big names in the Democratic Party, big names in the music industry. So what his knowledge is, what he knows is going to be very important if he decides to not go to trial and to flip on those individuals or maybe give up some information that he knows.
And he's facing 15 to life. So even if he does flip and sing, he's not going to get that much shaved off with these kind of charges.
Notice that that man said Diddy was hanging out with big names in the Democratic Party. Diddycrats. Diddycrats. That's what they are. Diddycrats. You cannot tell me that those people that were coming to those Kamala Harris rallies saying vote for Kamala, they were some of the same ones that were at those freak-offs. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Unbelievable.
Thank you for asking. But one is that them jokers, boy, on the Diddy side, everybody a victim. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care if you got a private jet. LeBron James make about $800 million. I don't know how much money that boy make. He's still a victim. He is still a victim. Diddy was a victim. Made it worth over $1 billion, a victim.
I got to say something to this last comment. Interesting, the celebrities that have left the States, yes, they have left. Where's Oprah? Where does she go? Okay, I think she left. I think, unless you guys know something differently. Also, Ellen DeGeneres. Okay, Ellen went to the UK, and her estate that she just purchased was immediately flooded, just flooded out, washed away. Think God might have had. I don't want to gloat in anybody's misfortune. Okay, I don't. But I don't think it. Ellen said she left because Donald Trump became the president-elect. No. That's what she's using as a cover. She left because of these Diddy parties and she's tied up with that Diddy stuff. Okay, don't let nobody fool you. Them trying to say they leaving because Donald Trump is going to be the president. No, they hightailing it out of here because they caught up in some mess with Diddy. That's the truth.
When you listen to that hip hop culture and you listen to Snoop and Dre and all of them, when you turn on the radio, the first thing they're going to tell you is how they've been victimized their whole life by the police, by the white man, and by America. We didn't have no choice. All we had was the streets. Daddy was gone. Mama was no good. I had no choice but to go to crime. Yeah, the victim mentality. That's the Diddycrat.
Yep.
No choice. What else the Diddycrats do, y'all? Well, they celebrate murder, mayhem, abortion. Kamala Harris went there. The first thing she did was stand in front of an abortion clinic and said, give me a baby so I can kill it. Celebrated. Jokers had an abortion van riding around the DNC. That's the Diddycrat National Convention. Riding around it now, asking women to come get an abortion. If you think you're pregnant, come get one because we want to make sure we kill the baby, even if it's imaginary. Why are these people so sick?
They're very sick. That's sick.
So they celebrate murder because that's what the hip hop guys do and the Diddycrats do.
Mm-hmm.
B.I.G. putting out songs about killing people.
Right.
First record was Ready to Die. Death Row Records. Got a record called Death Row. What the hell wrong with them guys, man? They're celebrating death like that. Death Row. Ready to Die. Songs about just killing folks. Ain't that the Democratic Party? Bringing over sex trafficking and the fentanyl and the abortions. They want to know how many abortions that are being had every year so they can know how they can expand it. They expanded the abortion pill, went to court. We want to make sure everybody can get the abortion pill.
That reminds me of the interview that Donald Trump just did with MSNBC's Kristen Welker. I will be doing a video on that tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a live on it, but I probably will just do a video and hit the high points. But it just reminded me, Donald Trump was asked if he's getting rid of the abortion pill. He said no, because he's going to let it go back to the states, as we already know. But him personally, in case people are wondering, Donald Trump personally is a pro-life person. He just doesn't want to push off what he thinks onto other people. But he is pro-life with the 3 exceptions: life of the mother, incest, and rape. Okay, and that is what it is with him.
Put in a vending machine. So you just go and just kill your baby. Celebrating murder. The Diddycrats. And then they celebrate sodomy. Boy, don't they celebrate sodomy.
They really do.
I mean, okay, Diddy.
Diddy, you know that.
Everything about Diddy and his freak offs was about sodomy.
Yep.
That boy's a stone cold sodomite.
Ridiculous.
I think that if the sodomites from Sodom and Gomorrah went to a Diddy freak off, they'd run out embarrassed. And what does the Democratic Party today, what do they elevate? LGBTQ.
Mm-hmm.
Gay marriage,
Mm-hmm.
all types of pornography,
Mm-hmm.
just nastiness
Mm-hmm.
all around it. You look at the Democratic National Convention, look like it was all on dope. Bunch of freaks, man. Bunch of weirdos. Like I said before, like the bar scene from Star Wars. Crazy makeup, red, purple hair. You look at them and say, and so, I'm kind of clear. They look at me, they think I'm crazy. I'm looking at them, I'm thinking they crazy.
I think they are crazy. I think this thing is spiritual, and I've said this a lot of times. And I remember the year of 2012 when Barack Obama was running up against Mitt Romney, and I looked at the DNC. I did not vote for Obama. Remember that. That's one mistake I did make. But when Barack Obama and Michelle came out onto the stage and waved and all that, I could sense an evil spirit. I really could, and it sounded like, and it felt like, spiritually, like it was a spirit of rebellion. It was totally against God. Totally. It's like an anti-God spirit had come on that party. And it felt like it was just like, it was almost like, if you guys remember from the Bible with the golden calf and how Moses had went up on the mountain to hear from the Lord to get the commandments. When he came back, they had built a calf and was engaging in sexual play and doing all kind of immoral things. I sensed that same energy at the 2012 DNC. And usually a lot of times when Democrats get together in a room like that, even this last time with Kamala Harris, you could sense that same rebellious anti-God spirit. I don't know if you guys sensed it, but I really did. And when Trump would have a rally, and I'm not saying that because I'm pro-Trump, I'm just being honest with you. With Trump's rally, it felt like some kind of God movement, like it felt more inspirational. It did not seem like it was anti-God at all, but Kamala's did.
Both of us, one of us right and one of us wrong. So the joker that want to kill babies and have sex with children and want to let illegals across the border, don't look at me and tell me I'm crazy. And there's another thing. Boy, I tell you what, that Diddycrat culture and the Democrats, they love this. They love illegality.
Mm-hmm.
Now listen, Donald Trump won the election. Everybody knew he won the election. Donald Trump told everybody what he was going to do. He said, I'm going to make sure I get these illegals out of the country. People elected him to do it. And guess what you got these Diddycrats doing? These jokers have set up sanctuary cities. They already had them. But now they're just expanding it and they're doubling down on it, saying that we are going to protect illegals. We're going to protect criminals. Now listen, if Taquayshawn and Johnny and me and Susie get caught, they're gonna put them straight in jail. Straight in jail. Let it be laid on child support. See what happened to them here.
And I want to say too, that this was a question that Kristen Welker brought up to Donald Trump during the Meet the Press interview that he did. And it was asked, is Donald Trump going to separate families? But his answer was the same as border czar, who's going to be his border czar, Tom Homan, who said that if they came together, they are to be deported together. Okay. And of course, Donald Trump is going to look at a case-by-case basis. If one person committed an illegality to get here and the other ones just came along because maybe they were family or whatever, they make a choice. Do you want to go back with this person or let that person go back and y'all stay here since they are the ones that committed the crime? It will be by a case-by-case basis. So it's not, he'll leave it up to the family to decide. But generally speaking, they came together over here illegally, they go back together. So don't let the left fool you saying, but he's trying to separate families. No, that's what the Democrats do. That's what they always did. They did it with slavery. Now they're doing it with welfare. That's what they always do. And now they're doing it with mass incarceration. No, that's you, in case you were Clefty Lefty that come up on my channel. That's the Democrats. Facts.
They're going to take him and perp walk him. If they catch him walking down the street with a beer can, they're going to lock him up. And they better not catch him speeding. They're going to give him a $500 speeding ticket, and then when he can't pay, they're going to take his driver's license. Yet, they are going to protect illegals. Trump has said the first ones we're going to get are the ones that are here doing violent crimes.
It makes sense. It just makes sense.
And they said, no, we're not going to let you have them. Sounds just like a Diddycrat. Just like Diddy's people. A bunch of thieves and murderers and liars and people involved in crime. They're the ones that want to defund the police.
Mm-hmm.
Take away the allow snatch and grabs. Allow people to just sleep and urinate and defecate on the streets. And the amazing thing is that you people vote for these people.
They're going to vote for another one.
Which means that you are either very ignorant or you're just as evil as they are.
That's hard.
Because, my friends, let me tell y'all something. God does not live in chaos. Chaos is where the devil rules. And I want to make something pretty plain right now before I leave. Just a clarification point. All right, for the last few months, people have been thinking that I'm a preacher. I don't know whether to take that as an insult or as a compliment. I am not a preacher.
He's not.
I don't preach in a church. I have not been ordained to preach. I do not fancy myself a man of the cloth. I don't have a church. I don't call people up for altar call, bring them to Christ, communion, none of that. I am not Pastor Vince Everett Ellison. I am Vince Everett Ellison layman, just like all of you. I'm a layman. I'm just like you.
Right.
I'm doing what we're all supposed to do, and that is evangelize to each other.
He mentioned chaos, the word chaos. That reminds me of the book that I'm currently reading. I don't know if you guys have ever read or heard of the book Chaos. And my gosh, it starts off so brutal. It is so, that's talking about the Charles Manson murders and the how people were hypnotized, and Sharon Tate, the actress that, y'all, that book, I don't know if I can stomach it. I think I got through the worst part, but I just thought I mentioned that because he said chaos.
I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody. That's all I am. Anybody want to know about Jesus Christ? Pull up a chair. We'll have a conversation. I'm trying to tell you, if you are a Christian, how your Christian walk is supposed to be applied to your politics. That's it. The sad thing is most of the pastors out there, especially the black ones, are so apostate. They're so terrible. They're so demonic. The people want to take somebody like me and put me in their place. No, there are some out there that are much, much better than me, who can connect you to God much better than I can. It's just so sad that the ones that we have now, and the people are so thirsty and crying out. It's sad. So, as delicately as I possibly can say it, I am not a pastor. And if God called me to be a pastor, it'd be a whole different game.
I want to also comment on the fact that he said the black church is really bad. I've been hearing this a lot lately. It is very, and we know why. We know why, because Democrats go to those churches to pay the pastors money and to get their congregation to vote a certain way. And so the pastors end up promoting the very things that Democrats are pushing. They end up promoting those very things. They end up going for it. And Atlanta, Georgia, I live near Atlanta. Atlanta has a principality over it, an evil principality of LGBT. Okay, it just does. Okay, it's true. And it's got its grips, its tentacles deep into Atlanta and maybe surrounding areas. I hope not. But it's got its tentacles deeply in there. And so by that being said, it has also crept its way into the churches. And I'm just going to be for real. I keep it 100. There's only one church, but the part of the church that's melanated, got some color, I'm just keeping it 100. Woo, is bad. Those churches in Atlanta are horrible. And you got all kind of churches of all ethnicities, don't get me wrong, that are doing horrible things. I've called out Joel Osteen. I've called out Joyce Meyer. I've called them out. But so far, I have not even seen them preach in a way that I've seen some of the Black preachers preach, like openly, just really for all this stuff. But there's some out there like that too, though. But I just keep hearing a lot about Black churches, and it has a lot to do with the fact that Democrats want the Black vote, but they don't do anything to earn it. So a lot of us are going Republican, MAGA, pro-Trump, because we haven't made them earn our vote. They're not going to ever get mine again. That's for doggone sure. They are never getting my vote again.
So with that, let's go back to another big problem we have with the Diddycrats. I mean, Diddycrats. I mean, what Diddycrats at one time, weren't they? They were Diddycrats and the Democrats. Now they Diddycrats. There was some Diddycrats and Diddycrats. Okay. So now we're dealing with heroes, right? The heroes. Well, the Democrats used to have heroes. Used to have the old Confederacy. Jeff Davis, Robert E. Lee, Jeff Stewart. Yeah, man. But those heroes have changed. They've taken those and discarded those heroes. Now we're the Democratic Party heroes. Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, and Michael Brown. So they went from Confederates to thugs. These are their heroes now. George Floyd was a criminal's criminal. I don't know how much fentanyl he had in his body. Joker was fighting the police, had been in jail about 10 times. I mean, and they grabbed him and elevated him because they want to make sure that all Black men in America become that. They want us to become George Floyd. They want us to become Trayvon Martin, who sat out and waited for George Zimmerman. And then it was on top of him, beating him to death, had his head grounding and pounding it into the concrete until Zimmerman had to shoot him.
And see, the media is put out something different. I remember the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman incident, and I remember wanting so desperately for George Zimmerman to be found guilty because I was fed the wrong information. And you got to understand, people are out here believing the news. I no longer believe the news, the mainstream media. I believe they spew out outright lies, propaganda. I just do not believe them, and nor do I use them to obtain information for myself, but only to point out their lies. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. It's not in a good way, incredible how they have lied and used this just whole thing. You had me feeling bad for Trayvon Martin. I was feeling bad for Michael Brown, George Floyd. And it reminds me a little bit about this situation with Daniel Penny and how Jordan Neely, the subway train incident where he had to put the man in a chokehold and he was threatening to get to unalive people. And now that's supposed to pick back up tomorrow. Now, I've been praying about that. And I just want to pause and let you guys know y'all need to pray for that too, because I don't believe, it's just my opinion, I don't believe Daniel Penny should get in any trouble for what he did. Because if it is true that Jordan Neely was out there, he's got a rap, he had a rap sheet. He had a rap sheet and some of it similar to what happened on the train. So he had a history of doing things, okay, bothering people. Then he had a mental problem and he was on drugs. And he was saying he was going to unalive people and threw his coat down and acting like he was going to hurt somebody. And then that, being a Marine veteran, Daniel Penny took to protecting the other people instead of them looking at it like he was protecting the passengers on the train, subway train. They looked at it like you just tried to kill this poor little crackhead black man or fentanyl head, whatever you want to call it. He was on drugs real bad he had schizophrenia. So if you can twist it and turn it to fit a narrative to cause chaos, and now BLM is out here getting involved. See, that's what Democrats do. They love chaos. They love playing up the race card and getting everybody emotional. Now people I pray they don't get out here and start doing stuff that they did a few years ago. That's what they do.
That's why he was found not guilty. That's why Zimmerman was found not guilty. Michael Brown just ran in the police car, just beat up the police. Police had to shoot him. The thugs are their heroes. The same with hip hop and Diddy culture. Who the heroes? Snoop, Dre, Rick Ross. What the you look at them, all of them went to jail, fighting in the street, acting a fool. I mean, if you put them together, I bet they couldn't all spell their name. Just thugging. Tupac, thug life written on his stomach. So they got shot, 6 times? B.I.G. got shot 6, 7 times. And they just got murals of them all over the ghetto.
Sure, they did.
The hero of the Diddycrats, the thug. So the Democrats should transform their name from Democrat to Diddycrat. And I need y'all to get this going now.
He said, get it going.
They need to stop hiding about who they really are. They ain't the same party as they were back in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, even 2000s when Bill Clinton was president in the 90s. They started changing after Obama.
They did. That's when it changed.
That no good Negro took over.
He said, no good Negro.
And now he said he wanted to transform America. He showed enough transformed the Democratic Party. From a party of ignorant, rabble racists to a party of ignorant, rabble thugs and hoes. To show you how much they changed, they even got a woman who was a side piece of Willie Brown and Montel Williams and running the streets of Los Angeles to be their party nominee.
I gotta say something to this comment right here, Tracy Benna. You said that you voted Democrat because you thought the Republicans were the party of racism and you did not want to be labeled a racist. I gotta say this now. I'm just keeping it 100 now. You know I keep it 100, but I believe conservatives have thick skin. Liberals get upset over every little thing, but it's just the truth. I feel bad for some white people because some of y'all go along. I'm just saying, don't get upset that some of y'all go along with foolishness because the last thing you want to be called is a racist. That's the last thing you want somebody to call you. It is like the worst thing. It's like they called you a Satan worshiper. I mean, I can sense it on some white people. They'll be like, okay, let the queers preach from the pulpit. We're not racist. And the drag queens running up in the church preaching and praying over folks. I'm like, what? Don't go along with that stuff. You're not racist. You just stand up for what's right. You can call me whatever you want to call me. I'll tell you to go kick rocks barefoot. I'm not going along with this foolishness, but I just wanted to bring that up. And I'm not putting you on the spot, Tracy. I'm just, it just reminds me of what I used to think. I said, oh my gosh, some of these people are really out here. Just the last thing they want to be called is racist. And you're not, you know, I mean, sure, there are some white people that are racist. Okay, sure, there are some black people, some Asian, Latino, whatever. But don't let anybody pigeonhole you into thinking, you know, you got to go along with this stuff. So you can just, because if you don't go along with it, the first thing they want to say is you're a bigot. And that's how they pigeonhole white people. Because they know that that is something that you guys are so desperately don't want to be called. So I'm saying, you know, that's just facts. Some of y'all are really scared to be called that. Don't care what they think. Just go along with the Lord.
Now, I ain't saying that she was a hoe when she was a party nominee. She was married. But she had sure enough lived the life of Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla. And Cardi B. That's why she was so comfortable around them. Oh, y'all, they're just like me. Yeah, they are. They're just like you. So they got one of them and made them the party nominee. Can you believe that? And you still want to argue with me about them not being the Diddycrats? Kamala Harris, the first Diddycrat nominee.
That train is.
And then you got this last thing. That's just one of these telling things. You just can't argue with it. I remember when I was younger, and I heard about an album that came out called The Chronic. I didn't know what Chronic was. And I found out that Chronic was marijuana. The name of the album was about marijuana, and Dr. Dre had a cap on with a marijuana plant right in the top of it. So the album was about smoking dope. And one of the songs that Dre had on the album was him and Snoop Dogg talking about rolling down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice, laid back, with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. I was thinking about that when Kamala Harris found herself losing the black vote. And she was trying to flip her line, fly away to find a way to get it back, right? And he said, ooh, I got it. What? Let's make marijuana legal.
She sure did.
I said, that's the Chronic.
Yep. She did it.
She has brought the Chronic to life. She should have just put a Chronic cap on like Dre had, just still back. Legalizing dope.
That's a mess.
Smoking blunts. The Diddycrats. Just a bunch of weird perverts. And when they lost, they're like, why? I don't know what happened. I tell you what, keep on doing it. We're going to beat you again 4 years from now.
There you go. Tell them, Vince. Tell them.
Gonna make smoking dope legal all over America. And yeah, the Diddycrats love that. So the old Democrats back in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s wouldn't have had that. They wouldn't have had people twerking at their nominees' events. They wouldn't have had a bunch of thug rappers and greasy preachers. Well, they had the greasy preachers. They wouldn't have had no thug rappers up there. They wouldn't have been up there talking about victimization and we need to have thugs as our heroes and all that kind of stuff. No.
I will say the Democrat Party has been bad for a while, though, because you got to remember that Joe Biden, that's why I call him Jim Crow Joe, had those crime bills. And I think he started those crime bills, might have been in the 70s, but definitely by the 80s, he had authored those crime bills. And then the 94 crime bill, that famous one, where they were separating black families and have long prison sentences for black people. Yeah, they did the same thing. They just, The Democrat Party does the same thing, but they just use a different way, go about it a different way. Like it was slavery. They separated families through selling what the husband or the wife or the kids to different plantations, separating the family. Then now they're doing it with welfare and also through mass incarceration. So same goal of separating the family, but a different method.
Oh man, they wouldn't have been praising death. They've been praising the death of black folks like they always have, but they wouldn't have been praising the murder and the death of children in the womb assassination, bringing children over bringing sex trafficking, bringing children over the border. They wouldn't have done that. They wouldn't have had DEI. Still fighting for DEI. That shows how weak you are.
That's right.
We need DEI to compete. I tell you what. Because again, with the Diddycrats, everything is race.
It is.
It's another thing about everything.
It is. Ugh.
Why are you going to support that candidate? Because he's black.
Ridiculous.
Do you know anything else about him? Nope. You know he's a murderer. I don't care. You know he's a rapist. I don't care.
Crazy.
Is there anything that you could do, that he could do to make you not vote for him? Is he black and a Democrat? Yes. Nothing you can do. Thank you, sir. Everything. It's about race.
Yep.
And about being a Democrat. They are just that stupid. So when you listen to those stupid, ignorant rappers, everything about black men being mistreated, everything about the black man being oppressed by white folks, everybody, you know, I had this Jasmine Crockett was on TV.
Oh, her.
Raising hell in Congress about oppression and DEI and talking about the white man in America has never been oppressed. Like they're supposed to be ashamed of that. Like there's some type of honor in allowing yourself to be oppressed by somebody. The white man hasn't been oppressed because he didn't allow himself to be oppressed. If not allowing yourself to be oppressed makes you white, you can count me as white.
And you black
I'm hanging
all
out with
day.
the white man because I've never been oppressed.
That's right.
Because I can guarantee you that we can go down to some trailer parks and find some white folks down there just complain just like a bunch of ghetto black people. Ain't nothing ever good. Somebody always did them wrong. I've heard them my whole life. And you say, ain't no difference between them in the trailer park and them down in the ghetto. They're the same types. Tatted up, drinking 40s, emaciated, teeth missing, stooped over. Same type.
And I just got to say, and I'll just stop the video right here. I'm still going to talk a little bit more about this. That kind of victimhood mindset can affect anybody of any ethnicity. It doesn't matter what you look like. But a lot of times I find with black people that we just, some of us, not me personally, and most black people, I don't think like this, maybe to some degree, small degree, but it does not affect us as far as like being something in life. But there's probably about 20-30% of African Americans that have this thing where they feel like they can't do because of racism, and it's just not true. I mean, I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. Don't make that mistake. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it doesn't exist to the point where if you got God on your side and a good work ethic and you're willing to put in the work, nobody can stop you. That's the mindset everybody needs to have, and stop living in the past. We are one people, the United States of America, and we need to love on each other, love God, put God first, family and country, put things in the proper perspective, and stop looking at people like they're your enemy. We got more in common than we have apart. I mean, there's more in common than different. Most of us just want to live in peace, have enough money to take care of ourselves and families and give to charities and help others in need and have a vacation vacation every now and then, save for retirement, have a nice home, invite people over for the holidays, you know, just laugh every now and then and go out and have a good time. I mean, we want to spend time with our family, our children, or eventually our grandchildren someday. We want the same exact things, okay? And to focus on the past is a mistake. I cannot stress that stronger than I can stress it right now. I mean, it's a mistake. And the Democrats work using division. They do the divide and conquer method. I remember reading in history where at one point the poor Black people and the poor white people fought up against the rich people who were oppressing them. But what the rich people in power figured out is they got to use some kind of way to divide them so that they're not unified to go up against the establishment. So what they did was they give the poor white man a little bit more rights than the Black people, and it caused them to divide and be separated. And now was the Black people fighting on their own. So we need to stick together to go up against the evil. Okay, this is a battle between good and evil, not black and white or whatever. Look, don't even make it about that. It's not even about that. We need to know what time it is, and we need to employ the correct methods to fight. Okay, we fight on our knees, prayer warriors. We fight on our knees. That is the best way to do it. Nobody can tell you can't pray. You can pray standing up. You don't have to necessarily be on your knees. You can be in your bed. You could be sitting in a chair. You can be riding on the bus, in the car praying. You can pray to yourself. You don't have to even pray out loud because God can still hear. And that is what we have to remember. So guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Press like and really check out my videos. I pushed out a video today about Candace Owens. She did say something about, you know, should she run for president in 2028 or 2032? I was like, what? And she mentioned Thomas Massey. I don't know how serious she was. She just put that out there. And yes, Courtney Willis, there is such thing as Black racism. Now you got some Black folks out here just as racist, but they try to get away from it, saying we can't be racist because we're not the ones in power. We can only be prejudiced. I get so tired of people trying to get an out. Okay, it's not an out. You don't get to just scapegoat your way out of this. Black folks can be racist too. Anybody can be racist, but we don't want to be that way. You know, we want to just love God with everything in us. Ask God to remove any kind of bitterness and evil and any kind of negative isms out of us. And so, yeah, that is just how it is. But thank you guys for watching. Again, don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, and all the things. Watch my videos. Thank you so much for supporting me on this channel. I'm also on locals.com. Support me on Locals. And also, I have a video that will be premiering tomorrow, Monday, December 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, I've had this man. His name is Pastor Cliff McAnthony. I was trying to see if I had his book right here, but he has a book called Trump the Great that you can get on Amazon. The link is in my description below. So check out the link and also check me out on Locals. But remember, the video is to premiere tomorrow with Pastor Cliff McAnthony. He has prophetic information that he shared with me in the 2 other videos that I did with him. But also, this is our first discussion post-election and what he has to say. You really should check it out. Premieres tomorrow, December 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern on my channel. Thank you all so much. All right. Love God, your families, these United States of America. And as I always